Okay, I know this will sound like a technical glitch, but I believe it to be more than that, because I feel like the glitch is more in the behavior than the computer itself. So a couple of years ago, I was in college, and it was a Sunday evening. I was doing a homework for a mental health class. Basically, we had to watch a 10-part documentary on YouTube about depression and write a summary for each part. I think it's because the teacher had to be away for the week, so she made us do that since she couldn't teach us about it in person. Anyway, I vividly remember doing the whole thing. I remember the videos, what they talked about, the people in it. I remember huge chunks of text on that Word document that I wrote. It took me like 2 to 3 hours and I was finally done. I was satisfied with my work, so I saved it in my folder where I usually save all of my schoolwork. After that, I vividly remember sending it to my teacher via email. I remember it being correctly sent, just like any other email I usually send, and since I was sending homework, I especially made sure it was being sent correctly, and that the Wi-Fi was working, etc. Then, I went to the bathroom and then to the kitchen to get a snack. When I came back to the computer in my room, I went on Tumblr or whatever other non-school related website, and I felt glad and relieved that I didn't have to stress about it anymore. I texted my friend who took the same class as me, and said if she had done it and if it went well, etc. She said that she was almost done, and she was on the 12th video. I was confused, because I thought it was only a 10-part documentary. But I checked, and indeed, it was a 13-part documentary. I think I missed the last 3 ones because they were not included in the playlist that I watched. I was a bit bummed out, but it was only 3 parts, so it wasn't that bad. I could just do them right now, add it to my homework, and resend it to my teacher, simply telling her that I had forgotten the last 3 parts on the prior document. So, I went into my schoolwork folder and searched for the document. It was nowhere to be found. At first I was confused, but I thought maybe I had saved it to another folder by accident. I searched in literally every folder in my computer, but it wasn't there. I also used the search engine to try and find it on my computer by searching for the name of the doc. I precisely remember calling it Depression_documentary. I even checked every other document with different names, thinking maybe I had saved it with another name and my memory was faulty. This took a while. Again, nowhere to be found. I thought maybe I had deleted it by accident. I even checked the trash folder, but it wasn't there. I went to check my emails because I remembered sending it to my teacher, so I thought I would just re-download it from there. So I went to check on my sent messages folder, and guess what? The email I sent to my teacher with the homework wasn't there. I did not understand because I precisely remembered sending it to her, and the message being sent normally only a couple of minutes ago. I checked every folder, it wasn't there. I even checked my inbox on another computer, on my phone, but still, it was not there. I checked back on my computer again. I even checked on all my USB keys because I thought maybe I had saved my work on it and then removed it maybe accidentally, but no, it was still nowhere to be found. At this point, I was starting to get really upset. How could my homework have disappeared from my computer in the 5 minutes I took to go pee and have a snack? And not only that, but the email that I sent to my teacher was nowhere to be found. When I couldn't find it on my computer, I blamed it on a technological bug, but when I saw that the email was also non-existent, I was starting to think it was something deeper. Did I just imagine the past 2 to 3 hours writing my homework? Did I dream it? Did I fall asleep and sleepwalk to my computer to write my homework? I highly doubted it since I've never sleepwalked in my life. I remember being so pissed off because I could not understand why the email was not there and why the document was not on the computer. I could not find any logical explanation. I was starting to question reality at this point. I was also pissed because I just spent several hours doing that stupid homework, and all my hard work and efforts were just gone. I still had hope that my teacher received the email, though. I thought maybe it just didn't show up on my sent messages because of a bug. The next morning, I did the last 3 parts of the documentary on another separate document and sent it to my teacher via email. I asked at the same time if she had received my last document that I had sent her with the first 10 parts of the homework. When she had answered, later that day, she said she received the one email I just sent her with the attached Word doc with parts 11 to 13, but she hadn't received any other email from me with the first other 10 parts. I kindly asked if she could check again because I vividly remember sending it to her. She later answered that she had checked every possible folder from her inbox, even on her own computer, but she could not find it. I had never been more confused in my life. I remember doing that homework. I remember saving it, sending it to my teacher, and yet all of the evidence was gone. To this day, I still have no clue what happened. I still never retrieved the damn document. The only explanation I could find is it was either one of those glitch in the Matrix type things, or maybe I shifted to another universe when I went to get a snack. Honestly, it sounds absolutely ridiculous, but I don't know how to explain it otherwise. By the way, I didn't do the other 10 parts again. I just refused to believe the file had disappeared. I don't know. Anyway, I should have redone it, because I had an impressive 0% grade for that assignment. I lost 10 to 15% off my final grade because of that stupid glitch. God, I was so pissed. I still had a super good final grade in the class, above average, but I'm still forever upset of that 10 to 15% more I could have had if this stupid event didn't happen. This one has me a bit weirded out. When I was younger, I would often hear unusual phrases inside my head that someone would inevitably repeat in conversation or on television within an hour or so. I would see something unusual and would encounter it within a brief time period. An example would be that while riding to a warehouse store with my mom, I once began to picture these rapid flashes of wheelchair athletes competing in various contests. Think of any given scene out of the Invictus games. We could see nothing on the right-hand side of the car due to a very steep hill bordering the road, and neither the store nor its parking lot were visible from our position. A minute later, we climbed that hill when the line of cars allowed us to turn into the driveway and parked to enter the store, where we encountered these super fit gentlemen in wheelchairs out front, collecting for wheelchair athletics. I was a teenager, and I still remember wishing the guy in the lead were younger so that I could flirt, and encourage him to ask me out because he was cute. Suddenly, I realized that the types of sports he was talking about participating in during the games were the exact ones that flashed through my mind just minutes prior. My mother donated, and we went inside to shop, but the experience is one that I still vividly remember. Those flashes of insight have not happened nearly as often as I have gotten older. I was talking with my family member yesterday, while she sat with her months-old daughter in her lap, playing with the toy. Suddenly, I saw the child choking, while her mother tried frantically to help her, and we ended up driving her to the hospital. I knew that she was choking because her throat had swelled. I shook my head slightly as this thought was highly disturbing. Within a minute of that experience, the child suddenly began to choke. Her mother employed several emergency techniques for which she had been trained, waving away my offers of water until the child choked again, after seeming to recover. I ran for cold water from the fridge, and she was able to stop choking after drinking for a bit. The child had several additional episodes of sudden onset dysphagia, and we monitored her throughout the night, and continued to give her cold water. Hopefully she will be seen regarding her swallowing, which happens in 4 stages of babies, to ensure that nothing has gone wrong in the present stage. However, she has exhibited no signs of discomfort today. The pediatrician had just seen her a day prior and believes her to be okay. I'm still shaken though. Did I really foresee the worst case scenario of that occurrence? Why did I stop seeing these images for so long? Why did they start again? Was it a warning of some sort? Looking back, I realized that cold liquids were what the doctors had me drink as a child when I used to suffer throat swelling and irritation. Nowhere in my waking dream did anyone offer the baby any water. So, does anyone else have similar experiences? What do you make of this? Okay, so my name is Daniel, and that's important to the story. It was late evening, and I was driving home on my electric bicycle, back home from a martial arts training session I had across town. I was driving without a helmet and with flip-flops. I was driving on a well-lit bike path by the road until I got to a poorly lit section of the bike path. I could have sworn the path was completely empty, but then I got hit by something or someone very hard and began to fly in the air. Mind you, the bike goes up to 25 kilometers per hour, so I got some serious air. While in the air, I felt time slow down, and I remember the first thing that crossed my mind was, I think I hit a group of pedestrians. Sorry, I'm about to hit the ground so hard and breach for impact. And in midair, I got into the fetal position to protect myself. I hit the ground and lights out. The next thing I see is me on my back watching a person standing right above me, and we both began moaning in pain. My muscles were tense. I saw him holding his other hand in pain, indicating that he got hit in his shoulder. After a few seconds, my muscles get relieved, and I put down my head on the pavement and fell asleep again. While being out, I had a dream, like a slideshow. I could see my mother first, then my best friends. I felt relieved, and I came to terms. Then, I hear a voice telling me to wake up. Wake up, man, please? Are you good? Then, suddenly, I opened my eyes and was feeling 100% energetic. Adrenaline, I suppose. I see the man helping me get up, and I got up very quickly, even too quick considering my state. I quickly looked at myself to see any damages. Okay, some skid marks on my hands and legs. Oh, I have an open wound on my leg, but I think it's manageable. Then, I looked around and saw my bike on the ground, and another electric bicycle. Same brand, even. Did I hit another biker head on? I didn't see anything. Then I looked to my right. The man is sitting on the only bench under the only light pole around. The accident happened right in front of the only bench. I started walking towards the bench. I could feel how disoriented I was, but I sat down and immediately began to apologize to the man. He said to me that he thinks he broke his arm. I apologized again and asked for his name, and he replied, Daniel. I said, what? My name is Daniel too. When we had a brief chat and we exchanged phone numbers, then after some time I got up and drove back home. The next day, he called me to inform that he indeed broke his arm, but he'll be okay. I told him about my damages, and we hung up. I haven't heard from him since. I'm pretty sure to this day that the path was completely empty, but then I hit another Daniel head on while he too was on an electric bike from the exact same brand, only to sit together on the bench with the only light source around. I think I either died or glitched into a parallel universe. Hey y'all, long-time listener, first-time caller. Here's a little background. Hopefully, this makes sense. I'm a lab analyst for an environmental consulting company, which is a whole lot of words for I look at mold and asbestos under a microscope. There are 3 of us in our lab, but we aren't all full-time and we aren't all there daily. Some days, not all of us will read sets of samples. We are required by our accreditation company by the state to check our microscopes daily and ensure our eyepieces, bulbs, slide stage, etc. are all properly aligned and in working order for the most accurate results of our samples. We report this by logging our name, microscope ID, date, and adjustments on a piece of paper at the end of our work days. Since COVID has happened, we've all missed working days here and there, been overwhelmed with samples, and just plain forgot to log our adjustments. But we always try to keep an account for who didn't log that day. Since things have been getting so hectic, a few logs were missed, and tracking those missed entries also fell by the wayside. Our lab director figured out who and when the log was missed by, and started a new sheet to correct this. She placed it in order of date, meaning it was at the end of the book. And I saw her put it in there. She told me it was there, and the next day I told the other analyst about the log sheet we all needed to correctly sign and account for. The incorrect page was removed and replaced with the correct one, except the next day, it wasn't there. And the old log was still in its place. No one had touched it. And we all looked at the sheet in that log, thinking it might have gotten placed in the wrong area. Nope, just gone, with the old log in its place. Dumbfounded, we left it for tomorrow's problem. Tomorrow came and still missing, with the old log in its place. I tell my lab director this. She also looked for the page and couldn't find it either, when she's the one that put it in the book, and she has no explanation. The next day, I go to make another new sheet for this log, and boom, there it is, right where it should be. And the other page is now gone. There are 3 of us in this lab, and 1 has been out due to a COVID scare. Neither of us have touched it. No one else in the office would know it was missing or that this page even existed, but there it was again. No one has any clue what happened. If this was a prank by someone else in the office, which it couldn't be, and why would it be, no one has fessed up to it. Also, what a crappy, pointless prank. Hopefully that all made sense, but I still have no explanation. So that, my friends, was a glitch in the Matrix collection, with stories that prove we are living in a simulation. Or at least that it's possible and our reality isn't quite as solid as we think. It's likely that our corporeal forms aren't the end of existence, and that things, such as, again, reality, can shift or be changed by outside forces that we don't see. Potentially by things like Cthulhu, because Cthulhu's a badass. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed that, and if you did, please do consider subscribing and hitting that bell icon. You can also do things to support the channel, such as following me on social media, visiting the website astheravendreams.com, or supporting me through Patreon, Coffee, or channel memberships. All of this is optional. All of it genuinely appreciated. If you do none of it, that's totally okay. If you do all of it, you don't have to. But, that'd be, ridiculously awesome. And I would probably shout you out in a video and send you stickers and posters and stuff. So, yeah. Anyway, I hope you all have a beautiful day. We're almost at the end of this year. To a lot of people, that's a good thing. To me, it's just another opportunity. January 1st is a fresh slate. It is a new chance It is the ability to look towards the future and decide how things are going to go. So, do with that what you will. But, until then, sleep well.